your mother saw. What's up, Web? I'm Mikey Nice.
Yo, 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 you know who it is. The man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only. The sun, the moon, the stars. The earth, the sun. What's up, party people? Y'all know what's good.
It's cameraman who's not behind the camera
Sunday
anymore.
smoke sesh. That's right, I'm the cameraman that's not behind the camera, so.
He's the ex-cameraman.
Yes, sir.
That's what happens, though. Sometimes you just go from cameraman from behind the camera to in front of the camera. And that's what's up. We are HeadRoom.
That's right, the space between your ears.
That's right. Not your ear.
Not your ear.
Your rear.
Your ear. Your ear.
Your ear. Like, we kind of think about different things, right? Like, you get a little smoked out with your boys, and you start to think about things, right? Like if you get real faded, and you get faded AF, and you spell it backwards, it's still faded AF.
Shit, dude. I was like, wait a second, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Faded AF, son.
Both ways. It's
Both ways.
It's a palindrome.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely, right?
No doubt.
So, around New York, I noticed that since they decriminalized marijuana, I smell marijuana every place I go. Where I used to be like, yo, is that me? Do I have something on me? Is there something in my pocket that I forgot about? But no. Every place you go,
yes,
it smells like weed.
And it's even worse because it happens while I'm at work. Mm-hmm. And it's like, shit, man. And I don't smoke during work.
I don't smoke at work either. So it's a matter of...
So it drives me nuts.
Man, I just want to get home and smoke.
Exactly. That's like, I'm overtime, I need to get home.
Well...
Or would you let me take a little,
A little siesta,
yeah.
A little break. Come on, but with all the new recreational marijuana being legalized now, that there are people who are going to have to learn the real etiquette for smoking marijuana. Now, we've made jokes about it, but it's actually, I believe Emily Post's granddaughter put out a book about the etiquette of marijuana. And now I didn't read this book, obviously, because I know all the etiquette of marijuana, and I wrote a couple of them down, and I figured that we could sit here and we could run through all the etiquette of marijuana for those that don't know. So this is not going to be really a funny episode, but it's really going to be more of an
educational episode.
Of an educational, a public service.
Public service, there you go.
That's what I was thinking.
That's even better.
Smoking on some Gorilla Glue right now. Now, the first rule of weed etiquette, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, is don't be a mooch. Oh, wait, let's do some shout-outs. Shout out, Richie. What's up, Rich? Don't be a mooch. Like, most people don't mind smoking. It's kind of a communal thing. You want to sit down, and you want to pass it to your boy, and you want to sit there and smoke. But you don't want to never contribute anything. That's the number one rule, is don't be the only guy.
And everyone had one in their group. Like, all of us had one.
And we all spoke about it behind his back. Everybody
Mine
talks
was
about
Googie.
it.
Shout out Googie.
What's up, Los? I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing. So that's the number one rule, is do not be a mooch. If you're going to smoke with somebody, everybody, especially with all the strains now, everybody wants to try different strains. Yo, check this out. I got this. I got that. Boom, boom, boom. So just do that. Just partake in that. When you got something good, save it for when you're around your boy that lit you up last time.
Don't fucking bogart and go hide and smoke it by yourself.
I mean, you can, but with some of it, stash a little bit for yourself if that's how you are, but still share the rest, The number two rule that everybody knows is puff, puff, pass.
Hell yeah.
A puff, puff, pass means that how long do you hold it in the rotation? It's 2 exhales, okay? And either be smoking or be passing. Don't sit there and hold it when it's the nice cherry and it's going and you're standing there telling a story. Don't do that, because then the outside, the air, the wind is getting to smoke the weed and not the circle, not the group.
I hate that.
You know what I'm saying?
I truly hate that.
So it's puff,
but
puff,
sometimes I
pass.
do. But I do that sometimes also because I'm so used to smoking by myself that I could just, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why you're supposed to be cognizant of that when you're with somebody else, Ralph.
Right. No, of course. But sometimes you get used to it. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying, either be smoking or be passing. That's all you should be doing. You know what I'm saying? I also like to give another shout out to Robert Moffat. Thank you very much for the sub. We appreciate it.
No doubt.
Also, number 3 rule is let the best roller roll. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like, oh, no, I can roll better than you, and blah, blah, blah. If you know that the other guy can roll better, let the other guy roll. Especially if there's going to be, like, if he wants to roll a blunt, or if he's trying to roll a cone, or one of those filter tips and all of that. Let the best roller roll. And don't be the type person where you're like, I only smoke blunts, I only smoke paper. I mean, unless you really can't get through it. Like some people, I smoke blunts, but some people really can't get through the blunts. So I either tell them to go scratch, or I roll in paper for them. You know what I'm saying? So that we could all smoke, communally. And so that's that number 3 rule is let the best roller roll. You know what I'm saying?
Unless they're so sick of rolling that they're like, fuck, man, can you just do it already?
No, well, that too. But still, it doesn't pay to fuck it up for everybody.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want
if
to
you're
fuck
in a
it up for
group,
everybody.
yeah, exactly. It's not like if I'm with you and I'm always, well, I kind of do that anyway. You're always rolling anyway for the most part.
No, you roll joints.
I put joints. You know what I'm saying? I'm the joint guy. You're the blunt guy.
But you taught me how to roll blunts.
That's...
You know what I'm saying? That's really the fact behind the matter. But then I do it more than you. You stop smoking blunts, and I smoke blunts, so I roll blunts better than you. So, okay. So now passing the joint, number 4 rule. This has a couple of parts to it. Okay? So and this is a key thing. Okay, number 1, how do you pass the joint? Okay, now let's pass the joint back and forth. When it's big like this, it really doesn't matter. I could just hand it to you and you could just take it, right? But when it gets smaller, there's a very simple way, and maybe we'll try to zoom in on this when we do it, is I put out one finger, you see, and that's how that goes. I'm going to try that again just for you people. I got the joint, the receiver puts out one finger, and boom.
Dunsky. Just like that.
No matter how big or small it is, that's how you pass. Now, before you pass the joint, you should always ash it. Nobody wants an ashy joint. Nobody wants to get it and then take a hit and get ashes all over.
Don't be an ash hole.
And so nobody wants that. Can you see that? Nobody wants an ash on their arm.
That's right.
From passing the joint. So ash before you pass. That's subsection B.
Subsection
right?
B.
Section A is put out one finger to receive, and then the other person will put it, and then you put your thumb, and then that's how that works, okay? Subsection B is ash before you pass. Subsection C, don't drench the joint. Don't N-word lip it. Don't make it all sloppy and moppy. If you're repairing it, like sometimes the blunt will come unrolled and you might have to repair it. Hold it for a bit. Try not to get it extra sloppy. Nobody wants a drenchy, squishy, you know what I'm saying? So,
and don't blow your breath all over it either. Shit.
I'm trying not to. What are you trying to say, man? Keep the cipher going. It's subsection D.
Hell yeah.
Normally the rule is pass the Dutchie upon the left-hand side. But whatever the cipher is, you keep the cipher going. Don't skip one guy to the next guy because he's your boy and now you want to pass it back. You playing ping pong? Call that playing ping pong. You can't do that. You got to keep the cipher going the right way.
Now, what do you do if somebody leaves the cipher?
Then they leave. Their position gets skipped to the next.
And they come back.
They have to wait till it comes around again.
Oh, okay.
They have to wait till it comes around again.
That makes sense.
Now, these are all particular rules you're asking. Now, I've been in situations where there's been one blunt and maybe 7 or 8 people to smoke one blunt. So what we used to do, because by the time 8 guys hit it, 7 guys hit it, the blunt is trashed by the time the last guy gets it. Even the first time, maybe he don't even get 2 hits.
Yeah.
So after the guy who lights it, the last guy can ask for 1 hit, for 1 pull, just so he can, you know what I'm saying? He can be denied, but he can ask.
That's right.
It's, that's one of the rules, Okay, so now subsection E.
Oh, jeez.
Would be don't pass a broken joint. If the joint is canoeing, fix it before you pass it. If it's unrolling, fix it before you pass it. Don't make it
somebody,
too wet.
Make it somebody else's
Right, don't
problem.
hand somebody, unless you really don't know how to fit, unless you're really new at it and you don't know what you're doing, but do your best to try not to pass a broken joint.
How do you stop a canoe?
You kind of wet. A canoe is, what is a canoe? Well, my joints don't canoe because I know how to row. But if there's an air pocket or something in the joint and the blunt, and then it might start burning down one end as opposed to straight down, what you want to do is you want to kind of get a little bit of saliva on your finger and kind of wet the burning area and try to let the rest catch up. So you might want to blow on it.
That happens when you're too lazy to break up your weed properly.
You don't break up the weed properly. You might have an air pocket where you don't roll it tight enough. You don't compress it right. There's a myriad of reasons why.
Back in the days, there used to be seeds that caused that, but we don't even see seeds anymore.
No, what's a seed?
I know. What's a seed?
I don't know. What do you mean, like in a
It's
tomato?
amazing. Back in the day, everything had fucking seeds.
Now, the other rule about not being a mooch, right? Because everybody, like I say, it's a communal thing. People like to share joints. If you're sick, opt out.
Please.
You know what I'm saying? Opt out. If you like right now, I feel a little under the weather, coronavirus. So I'm not passing this to him. We just passed it a little bit, but he's not gonna hit it because I'm a little sick. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that goes. Opt out if you're sick.
Yeah. And I'm sure if you still want to smoke, your friend will be nice enough to roll something for you. You know what I'm saying?
What are you trying to say?
Oh, what?
I'll roll you.
No, I'm
Got the
good,
Gorilla
man.
Glue right here, bro.
No, I'm good. I'm golden, man.
All right, rule number 7. Hey, I get confused. I didn't write it all down. Don't peer pressure your friends. You know what I'm saying? Know your limits and don't peer pressure your friends. In other words, if you feel like you're high enough, don't keep smoking. And if your friend is saying he's good after one pull, and you got but there's a whole blunt, come on, don't let him chill a little. Don't ruin his experience. Let him sit out one turn of the cipher anyway, right?
At least that.
You know what I'm saying? So you know your limits and don't peer pressure your friends because it's a little fucked up. You don't want to ruin somebody's experience. That's the whole idea, is to keep everybody's experience, the most important thing.
Yeah.
Now, that brings me to the next rule, which is respect is paramount.
Absolutely.
Whatever the situation is, if you're in the park outside, try to respect not only all the people that you're smoking with, but everybody in the park. If you see you're making other people uncomfortable, maybe move it along a little bit.
Some people are very offended by weed odor.
If you're in somebody else's house and they're trying to keep quiet, you keep quiet. You don't ash on the floor. You know what I'm saying? These are typical things, but respect is paramount when it comes to smoking marijuana with other people, because you want to keep a nice, peaceful, calm environment. That's why people are doing it. You know what I'm saying? Get high, gig, and have a good time. You don't want to be the one that, even if you're not thinking about it, you don't think you're ruining somebody's good time, but you really can be.
This is all 101 stuff too. You guys gotta know that,
Yeah, but that's the whole thing, is with the new laws, there are a lot of new smokers.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like when prohibition of alcohol ended, they would have people that you go over somebody's house. It's like it's a mixed crowd, so maybe you don't want to smoke around them. Maybe you want to go outside and smoke, or maybe you want to not smoke, for a while.
Right.
Maybe have a beer or two and just relax. You know what I mean? If the whole crowd don't smoke.
The only place that I'll be honest with you that I'm annoyed, I don't want to be in my own house and be told that I'm offending other people. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Well, that's like the same thing as if your neighbors are complaining about the odor. You can try to curtail it as much as you can, but you don't have to stop, because that's like saying I don't like somebody. They cooking fish next door,
right?
And the smell of cooking fish offends me. Well, you know what? People like to eat fish. So what do you?
Public places are a whole lot.
Right. Absolutely.
And
even if you're in somebody else's house, if their wife or you know what I'm saying, somebody in their family, a roommate or somebody isn't really that into it, don't rub it in their face. Do your best to try to curtail it a little bit, or maybe mask it, a little incense, a little spray or something like that. A little ozium is always good, right?
If you're going shopping or out eating and something, you think some people next to you want to smell that shit all over you, have a breath mint, put a little spritz
cologne
of
or something
on you.
too. Yeah, if you're the type of person that likes to burn right before you go inside a restaurant because you want to enjoy the food a little bit more, keep in mind that maybe somebody else doesn't like that. So try to keep a little. What did you used to do? The scent bird?
Yeah, scent bird.
A little
shout out.
Keep a little cologne with you. You know what I mean? I mean, even though it's legal now and you smell it everywhere, don't be the one person that ruins it for everybody else. And now there's the the last rule. Excuse me. Told you I'm a little sick. Is who gets the green hit? That's what a lot of people want to know. Now there are a couple schools of thought, because the person who's supplying the weed is not always the person that's rolling the weed, right? So normally the rule is whoever rolled it gets the green hit. That's normally the rule,
yes.
Right? So unless
the owner specifies other, but it's not. That would be nice.
I mean, unless you're packing a bowl. I think if you're packing a bowl, my estimation is you should only pack one hit into the bowl anyway. Why are you stuffing all types of hits into the bowl? Those hits don't taste better.
And most of the type of person I am is I want you to taste the green hit before I do if I got something new. You know what I'm saying?
Well, right. Well, that's the other thing. It's always the whoever. It's always the option of the owner of the product.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But normally it's the person who rolled it. So.
Right.
You know.
Completely agree. It's all one-on-one stuff. You guys should all know it. Follow it, stick by it, live by it.
Live it, love it, learn the rules and love them and follow them. And that's just how you keep good
and make
weed
the world
etiquette.
A better place.
Absolutely.
Weed makes the world a better place. Come on.
I think so.
I think so.
Well, yeah, that's why it's here so much.
I think that if a lot of people that are so wound up just smoked a little bit.
Yeah. Sure, why not? It will relax you a little bit and helps you focus.
That's right. Focus.
But you don't want to smoke too much either. That's why I try not to smoke during the day at work or anything like that, unless I got a day off or I got nothing to do.
It makes it that much better when you have something to look forward to. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
I do get a little bit like if it usually doesn't happen a lot, but if you don't have weed, it can get a little stressful. Like if you go on a trip or something like that.
Well, that's true. I mean, I always like to know that, like, if I get stressed out during the day, I know that I just can't wait to get home to that bag of weed. You know
Exactly. Exactly.
But, you don't want to be high at work all the time. You get a little buzz beforehand and then, come bring it down before you actually start doing whatever you're supposed to focus on.
Right.
You don't want to be a high EMS worker. There is a fine line between CPR and necrophilia. Right? So, you got to be able to know what you're doing, but you want to be able to focus, unless you're painting like an artist and you want to, Monet or something then smoke your brains out. Yeah.
Or if you're a professional video game player, you know what I'm saying?
I saw an ad in the paper. Somebody sent me an ad on Facebook for an ad in the paper. They want to pay you $3,000 a month. They'll supply you with weed. They want you to smoke all day long and write about it. Now, I think I could do that.
Sign me up.
But you have to write about it. I'm saying, do I get to keep my job, my regular job, and use that as extra money? Because I'm not.
Is it like a all day thing? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Is it kind of like one of those?
Could I have two jobs? That's the only thing I want to know. Right? It shouldn't affect
because
my other job because I can't really live on $3,000 a month. Not in New York City, you can't.
That's right. New York.
I'm trying to think if I left out any of the weed etiquette rules.
Pretty much just, and please, he said slobbering, man. Ugh, nasty.
Yeah, you don't, there's nothing nasty in that. Especially, that's why a lot of people don't like smoking blunts. You know what I mean? Because you kind of gotta, you gotta kind of get you gotta kind of saliva it up.
What did you do to get it to the point that it was so freaking wet, man? You know what I'm saying? It's like that.
Some people just very saliva-y. Some people are just very, very saliva-y when it comes to these things. So you got to be really careful when it comes to that. I don't know. It could be worse, bro.
Yeah.
But I like to keep them, because that's what happens too. When you pass it, sometimes it gets unrolled. So you gotta lick it to seal it again. And you don't want to do that again. Aww. Daisy's jumping around. I want to put this out because I don't want to smoke around the dog. Well, I think we're pretty much done with this episode.
See,
anyway.
Weed etiquette. You just did it, and that's for a dog.
Well, yeah.
And there she goes.
And a bottle of soda.
It's okay. It's all good.
And there
Shit
she
happens.
goes. That's all right.
You guys know what it is.
It's a little chaos in life, but that's what happens with dogs. Maybe she got a little contact. Uh-oh. So peace out from HeadRoom.
Live
These are the
long and
rules of etiquette.
prosper.
I'd also like to give a shout out to D-Ray Spaded 420. I promised you a shout out, and there it is. Peace out.